gone to a blue jersey and white shorts in the semifinal daytime match. Bad miss hit on the backhand for Roger on his service.
We saw that a little bit yesterday. Roger was shanking a lot of balls, a lot more than he normally does. And I think if he plays like he did against Davydenko, he could find himself on the losing end of this match, because he did not play well at all yesterday.
It's always good enough to win. You know, and champions win matches in which they play badly, and that was the case. There's the 2 errors already to love 30. There is a wind, and again, I know we keep talking about it, but in the last several days of the tournament, it has become a factor. And just checking the big flag up above, it's blowing toward Djokovic up high. That doesn't mean that that's the way it's blowing there, because it gets down into the bowl and swirls around.
One of the unique things about this stadium is the direction the wind is going on that flag. It's actually going the opposite direction down on the court. It's like a big vertical cyclone.
So we watch actually to see if it's moving towels and the players' clothing around, and we'll be keeping an eye on that to see if it's having an effect on the match. A miss by Djokovic to 30 all. Well, the potential of this match is tantalizing. I think every fan in here and all of the media people who follow the tour all year long are excited about this. You always want to see 1 against 2. Nadal got knocked out by Ferrer. We're going to have a challenge early here.
That was a very late call in the center line.
It's right there. So Djokovic has to do the walk.
40-30.
Saying everybody would like to see 1 against 2 in a Grand Slam, but there's a little more intrigue involved with Djokovic suddenly pushing himself into the top 3 and as a pretender to the throne, if you will. That's great stuff from Djokovic.
These players are so evenly matched. As far as each individual parts of their game go, they can both do an all-court game. As you see Djokovic coming to the net, just putting that ball away. They both move extremely well. It's negligible who moves better. I think the only difference that I would say between the 2 games is I'd give the slight edge to the backhand on Djokovic and the slight edge to the forehand of Federer. But again, both those differences pretty marginal. I wouldn't say one is an overwhelming favorite. So it's really going to depend on who can work the point around better and work their way to the net.
A hold by Federer, who started out at love 30 in the game. And I think from the tennis strategic point of view, and that's Maria Sharapova, of course, and she is a guest in the box of Novak Djokovic today, which is kind of an interesting little development. And we're told that the actor Robert De Niro, he also invited to sit in his box today. And there's quite a lineup, as usual, of film stars, sports stars, political stars who come out to the U.S. Open. It's a celebrity grabber event in New York City. Djokovic serving now, his first service game. The 15 love on the long forehand from Federer.
There's
Robert De Niro.
De Niro right there.
He's trying to hide, but it's not working.
The fan?
The fan, right. Good for you, Taylor. Reference to one of his films. Djokovic, after one of his matches, was interviewed on court by Michael Barkan of the USA television network here in the U.S. and asked to do his impressions of other players, which was kind of an inside thing around the locker room. And Jonas Bjorkman used to do that years ago and had some great impressions. Now the new guy doing it on the tour is Djokovic, who had the temerity to also include an impression of Maria Sharapova's serve, wiping away the wisp of hair and all of her little quirks. And so obviously she wasn't upset by it because she's a guest in his box today.
Must have seen her play a few times, study that serve.
Oh yeah, it was apparent. He had every little twitch of hers. 30-15. He also did a number on Nadal, and you can imagine all of the things that he did of Nadal. Big serve from Djokovic.
There's been a little strategy in the game so far. We see Federer taking his backhand up the line a little bit more often than he normally would to try and entice Djokovic to go cross court and start a forehand-to-forehand rally. But both players pretty much relying on getting cheapies off their first serves.
Ooh, there's a nice cheapie there. First ace.
And Federer's going to challenge again.
Federer, who had been a reluctant user of the challenges, has completely bought into it based on the number of times he will challenge now when he's quite certain his eyes are correct, and he was correct.
Well, the linesmen are 0 for 2 so far. The players aren't the only ones that are nervous out there on the court.
Well, that's a good point as well, Taylor. I'm sure these guys have got the big match, and they were handpicked to be the officials for the championship match, so I'm sure they have every reason to be nervous. Game apiece. Nice try at the get there, but that would have been an easy put away for Roger. The 1-2 on his serve and down the line was perfect.
Even if Djokovic makes that ball, that point was still over. Very sound play from Roger.
I was talking to a Swiss-German broadcaster up here in the international level after the match against Davydenko, and he was all pumped up and said, Roger wants to beat this guy for revenge for the loss in Montreal. He's going to win in 3 sets. And I said, oh boy, well, look, that's a pretty strong prediction you're making here. It might be a little biased. But he was certain, no, he wants to show him, so we'll see. 30-15. Double fault by Federer. Makes up for it with that service winner. Hold by Federer. We're on serve at 2-1. Roger Federer going for his 4th U.S. Open title, 20-year-old Novak Djokovic. The opponent, the number 3 seed, number 3 ranked player who holds a win over Federer this season. It would be an incredible victory for him. The film star comedian Robin Williams, among a whole lineup of folks who are here today from the celebrity world. Wide.
15 love.
Dustin Hoffman, pretty good tennis player, Dustin. He really loves the sport. He's not the kind of guy that comes out to get this picture on TV. He loves tennis. So
he does love tennis. He actually has a clay court in his backyard.
Have you had a chance to play in there?
Yeah, I was hitting with, I believe it was Gimelstob.
Yeah.
Gimelstob on his clay court.
Nice backhand from Federer. Lasered down the line.
Federer by no means has to panic on those cross-court rallies, but we are seeing him pull the trigger and go up the line within the first couple of shots. So again, just trying to set up the forehand to forehand rally.
$15 all.
30-15.
122 miles per hour on that service. Greg Norman, the golfer, was his lady friend with him there.
Chrissy Everett was right there. They've been an item latter stage of this tournament. Good effective serving from both these players. And you don't want to let their opponent get a rhythm on the second serve, so trying to keep the point short. A little bit of extra focus to get those first serves in.
Net court goes wide. Djokovic holds. Even at 2.
2 games all, first set.
Every match they've played, going back to 2006, there were 2 in 2006 and 3 this season, has gone 3 sets. That might tell us something. The last one, as we've mentioned several times, a won at Montreal by Djokovic. So Roger holds a 4-1 lead in the head-to-head
15 love.
on the clay at Monte Carlo and on a hard court at Davis Cup in 2006. And then this year, on the hard court at Australia and Dubai, Roger was the winner. And on the hard court at Montreal, the last having Djokovic. Big serve there from the number 1.
I think both these players are
30 love.
definitely feeling the finals of the US Open. As we see a great ace from Federer. Pretty much the only good shot we've seen so far has been some first serves. Other than that, we've seen some pretty loose errors from both parties.
So even the greats and the experienced greats can feel and show the nerves early in a match. There's so much at stake. With Roger, it's history. With Djokovic, it's a chance to prove he belongs in this same conversation with Roger Federer and the number 2, Rafael Nadal.
And there you
6
see,
each
yeah.
unforced.
And 2 of those winners off Federer's racket have come from aces. So identical numbers just about.
Your analysis of these players tactically and in terms of shot skills, you've called them about even. So one would think then that the outcome will be determined by a couple of things: experience, mental toughness, and physical toughness, ability to withstand if it is another hot day. It's not as bad as it was the last 2 days.
And
There
you
is
gotta
some wind.
you always have to factor in a little bit of luck. I mean, those big points mean so much, and sometimes you just get lucky to win those big points.
Great pressure from the forehand of Federer for a hold of 3 games to 2.
Federer leads 3 games to 2, first set.
For young Djokovic, he was a semi-finalist at both the French and Wimbledon, losing each time to Rafael Nadal, having to retire at Wimbledon, those rain-delayed matches, and he had a severe foot blister that he couldn't finish his match against Nadal.
15 love.
Djokovic has really come out in this match serving well. We've seen some patchy performance throughout the tournament on his serve, but hitting 67% in. and only dropping 1 point. He's 7 out of 8. Doesn't want to give Federer too much of an opportunity to get a feel.
Well played, wrong footing Federer. It's not easy to do that.
30 love.
Federer on that point just tried to bait Djokovic cross court, which he did. Just didn't hit his forehand up the line sharply enough. You saw him trying to sneak around and start dictating the point with that forehand.
Ace from Djokovic, his second. Make it his first. Roger with 2. Djokovic with his first. And a 40-love lead here. And excellent serving. 4 points for the hold on serve. 3-all first set.
3 games all first set.
What a second serve by Federer right on the center line. And Djokovic just couldn't get enough on this return and forced to just pick a side and guess. And when you're facing a shot as good as Federer's forehand, that's what you have to do most of the time on a sitter like that.
Well, that's the longest rally of the match, and there was the Djokovic drop shot attempt from the baseline. He uses the shot frequently, and frequently from back there, not in where it's a little safer and more productive shot to use. That one was costly.
It's a shame that Djokovic tried to get out of that rally. Wow, that's a
Solid
tough
overhead.
3 feet from the baseline. Clean winner, but on the point before, that's the rally that I think Djokovic wants to be in, is that backhand cross-court rally. So going with the drop shot, not a shot that I would recommend.
Well, we've come to understand you have an innate prejudice toward the drop shot. But most of the time, I'm agreeing with you as the amateur, the non-tennis player. I'm agreeing with your feelings about when to use it at least. 4-3 Federer.
Federer leads 4 games to 3, first set.
Again, that's a little bit of advantage. The balls are a little smaller, go through the air a little bit quicker, skid off the court. So you normally see players lead with that serve out wide.
Well, it's a chance this game to talk about the ball bounces, which Djokovic has come to be known for, as many as 24, 25 at a time. It varies the number of bounces. Jumps on that short ball.
15 love.
That's what surprises me about the ball bounces, is that he varies them. Normally players have a set number that they go for, and it's just part of their routine. But it seems like Djokovic is just going to stay down there as long as it takes till he's ready for the point.
Well, I heard 2 points of view on it in the same day this morning. One was in a letter to the editor, sports section of the New York Times, in which somebody from Hamilton, New York, in upstate New York, was saying that the reason he does it, or at least it's this man's speculation that the reason he does it, is that it heats up the ball, changes the pressure, and makes it more lively when he releases it. Now, The letter wasn't signed Professor of Physics or anything, so we don't know what his authority was on this, but it was kind of an interesting theory. And I actually passed it on to one of the handlers of Djokovic. I'd be curious to know whether he read that. Probably, knowing him, he probably did before he came out for the match. I thought that was interesting. And then
I'm definitely not a scientist, but it makes sense. I'm sure that the temperature that changes inside the ball is extremely negligible, extremely marginal. As you see the Djokovic camp all wearing matching shirts. So I'm pretty sure that's not the reason Djokovic does it.
Well, no, he wasn't saying it was the reason he did it. He was just saying that it was an unfair advantage because it made the ball livelier, according to this man.
So he wants a ball bouncing cap.
It was a fun read.
They're Mr. and Mrs. Djokovic.
Yes, his father is Srdjan and his mother is Diana.
They're always very emotional in the box. And what was the other point of view?
Well,
on
I'm
the
going
ball
to give you that
bounces?
here. I'm going to wait till we'll watch him do it here.
I'm waiting in anticipation.
Well, let's see. This is a longer one here. Well, it's an ace. Well, the great player John Newcombe, who's won a few of these Grand Slam titles, he flat out says it is a tactic by Djokovic in that he wants to bother the returner, not knowing exactly when he's going to serve the ball. It leaves a man, the longer he does it, it leaves the return man in his ready position much longer, and that's a hard thing to do, to maintain your position and your readiness when you're used to seeing somebody bounce it 4 times or something. That's out. So Nuke, the great Nuke, considers it a tactic that he deliberately uses and hopes to throw off the returner.
I can definitely see that. I don't know whether I agree with it 100%, but I can see that. I think that he does it on the bigger points just to give himself a little bit more time to put in a good serve and to compose himself for the point.
Well constructed by Federer to 30 love.
We saw Federer mix in some slices. Again, it looks like he has a lot of respect for that Djokovic backhand. He doesn't want to give him too much rhythm on that side. He wants to get some forehands and take control.
Ooh, a little loose there by Roger, letting the forehand fly.
30-15.
It'd be 15.
Roger's got 8 unforced errors so far this set. I've been so impressed with his matches before yesterday, with his ability to stay around 2 and 3 unforced errors per set.
Well, but he's getting more pressure here from this young man than he had from most of his earlier opponents. Davydenko wound up bothering him yesterday for sure. But at the end of the day, you read the paper, he wins in 3.
Is the bottom line.
The hold for 5 games to 4. No breaks of serve. Win or lose here today, he's still the #1 player in the world, and you almost want these challengers to come and knock him off a couple of times, because then we can look at the great rivalries that will come from it. So it's just a treat to watch what this guy, the gifts he has and how well he uses them. Young Mr. Djokovic is showing plenty of his own stuff.
I agree. I think if things continue this way for Federer, the only knock that he'll have is that he didn't really have a rival. Because right now, obviously Rafa's there, Djokovic is there now, but if he continues his dominance, people are going to say, oh, well, maybe the talent wasn't as good to push him. But that just is another example of how unbelievable Federer is.
15 love, Djokovic. I think that hit the line, and you get that skip. You could see the miss hit. We've had a number of comments made about the lines themselves have a slipperier surface than the rest of the court. The players would rather not see the ball arrive on that paint on their side.
That's exactly what happened there. It just got under the racket. Federer.
But it's kind of like a bad bounce on the grass, or for that matter, even on the clay, you can get goofy bounces.
Djokovic has been doing an amazingly good job at holding serve here, only dropping 5 points so far out of 24 points. Federer's dropped 6 points, so both of them very solid.
Hard to hit winners, these guys. 5 for Djokovic, 7 for Federer.
Roger
Held
being
it
down
long enough, huh?
Yeah, being down 40 love, just getting a little bit more aggressive.
40-15.
Seeing if he can get some feel. Because after hitting 8 unforced errors, you know, he's probably not feeling the ball as well as he would like out there at the moment. So it's a great opportunity for him just to loosen up a little bit and swing, because he's probably not going to win this game anyway, down 40 love.
By Djokovic, forehand long from Roger. We're even at 5. We haven't had a break point.
5 games all, first sets.
Not even close. I guess the very first game that Federer served was the best chance either player's had to get a break point, but since then it's been good serving.
Second double fault.
It's unusual from Roger. Normally we don't see him double fault that much at all. Maybe 2 in a 3 out of 5 set match. Maybe another indication that he's not entirely comfortable out there yet. Not entirely settled in.
And we've seen that before. I mean, he can be a slow starter. And even though he's played Novak 5 times, I mean, Novak just gets better each match. So it's a little different Novak each time he's seen him. And that's a classic play by Federer, working the corners, finding the spot to come in on.
You can just see how devastating Roger is once he gets time on that forehand side. At the end of that point, Djokovic was 5 feet behind the baseline, and Roger just had to tuck it nicely away. Short in the court for a clean volley winner.
What's your take on Djokovic's service return? Is he better on the backhand side or the forehand side?
I would say backhand. It's a little bit flatter of a stroke, smaller swing.
Rips the big forehand for the winner there. 30 all. And he had a good backhand in that rally. Was that the return?
That was no, that was in the middle of a rally.
But he did return backhand.
Yes, he did. It was a solid return. Djokovic has got a very exaggerated finish. That's always a good sign.
Well, a little miss there. Good pace from Djokovic. These are heavy shots that he produces, and Roger's still getting the feel for them. In this first set, been caught a couple of times as he was there. On a break point, the first of the set. First of the match, obviously. Tried the tee. Good second serve.
A little bit slower second serve at 85 miles an hour. Here it is.
Missed it.
And again, he probably saw Djokovic guess the right way out of the corner of his eye. Forced him to go closer to the baseline than he wanted. Wow. Djokovic getting another gift here, another opportunity.
Second break point and a second serve for Djokovic. Good second serve. And he missed it again on the forehand. Federer is broken. Djokovic will serve for the first set.
Djokovic leads 6 games to 5, first set.
It's long. Good serve to start. 126 down the tee.
First serve is continuing to be so effective. And we saw Roger early in this tournament struggle returning first serves in the first set. Slowly start to warm up.
Love, and the 6'2" Djokovic was able to handle that. He's actually an inch taller than Roger.
30 love.
Good preparation from Djokovic, good hops. Getting him that much closer.
40 love.
Ace for 40 love. Roger slowly walks over to the other side, probably thinking, well, it's going to have to be at least 4-setter.
Look at how short that serve landed in the box. That's such a good sign on the first serve.
Everything from Djokovic also looks like heavy. It looks heavy. It's heavier looking even than Andy Roddick's ground strokes and serve. Tremendous speed from Roddick, but
40-15.
A little bit of a mishit on that backhand from Djokovic. See it just hang right in the middle of the court. Roger will have a buffet on those all day, but to Djokovic's credit, he's been able to get that cross court and solid every time.
Mirka, Roger's girlfriend, she's munching early there. That's a sign of her nerves. That's long.
40-30.
30. I like this from Federer. But the point goes to Djokovic anyway with the error from Federer.
That's pretty much 3 unforced errors in these points. I know Federer hit a winner forehand on one. This has been some tight tennis up 40 love from Djokovic.
Yeah, I thought his ball was good down here and watched Federer play it back, but it was long. Deuce. Our angle is sometimes deceiving in that line below. A big serve.
Advantage Djokovic.
That's long.
We're going to count that 4 unforced errors on set points for Djokovic. Guess he isn't too young to feel the pressure after all.
Well, it's understandable. Better have something good here. Oh, Federer. He didn't attack the serve, and then he nets a weak backhand. Set point again.
Federer's gotten back into this game by just making Djokovic play.
Again, Djokovic knocks it long.
Oh, at least there, Djokovic has an excuse, because this Federer return was very good. Takes that forehand early.
But weren't you surprised that he didn't go after the second serve on the last point?
That's not what got him back in this game.
No, you're right.
So
you're absolutely right. He's drawn the errors by not doing that. But I just thought in that situation he might.
I mean, normally, yes, I'd say absolutely, but they just both look so tentative out there right now. Federer may be sensing that, just trying to make Djokovic play as much as possible.
Second serve.
Okay, it's the same strategy. Oh, and it worked again. My goodness. Okay. Break point for Federer. First of this long, painful game for Djokovic. Trying to serve out the first set. Oh, there's so much more involved than just being a great shot maker.
Does this remind you of a match in Montreal that these two played?
Sure does.
We'll have to see if Federer can pull this game out first.
Well, that's
6 games all, first sets.
that's almost sad for the young guy. He double faulted.
Just pulling everything down here, getting no height over the net. And that's the cardinal sin on the second serve. If you're feeling tight, give it a little bit more air over that net. And that match we were talking about in Montreal, Roger Federer serving for the first set, 6-5, 40 love. Djokovic came back and broke Roger and ended up winning the match.
Tie break, yeah.
Well, Djokovic has had some good results in these tiebreakers against Federer, as we just saw.
3-0. But it's 1-0 Federer. The score in this tiebreak. 2 service points to Djokovic. It's wide, one apiece.
Both these players are trying to implement their tactics. Roger's going to the Djokovic forehand, trying to open up his forehand up the line, but just missing so many balls, not really able to put the plan into action.
Good deep forehand. 2 points to 1 Djokovic. 2 service points come to Roger Federer. First to win 7 points, wins the tiebreak. He must win by 2, and they'll change ends having played 6 points.
Djokovic saw a lot of those balls the game he served for this set. Obviously feeling a little bit more free in the early stages of this tiebreaker.
Djokovic error to 2-all. Well, I think that must have been in
That's Serbian,
Serbian.
for I would like to concentrate a little bit better.
I'll take your word for that.
I would like to rise above the situation.
Can miss. Federer tried to put the top back on that one. Gave him a couple of slices to look at. Probably a good thing with the energy running high in Djokovic. Expelled by his Serbian monologue back there.
And you can see Federer's adjustment in his game. He knows the situation. He knows Djokovic is tight, so he's trying to get a lot of height over the net and play consistent tennis, but him himself, he's just not able to put it together.
Good serve. Oh, Djokovic a little rattled here. First racket chuck. 3-all.
Here we go. We see Djokovic's favorite shot. It's a lot tougher to swing that racket through in the finals of the U.S. Open, a first set tiebreaker, than it is any other match that this young man's played in his life.
Oh, no question. And, you know, for Federer's part, 15 unforced errors. I mean, he's been shaky in that department. 16 for Djokovic in the set, 15 for Federer. The thing is, we've seen this before from Roger Federer in a first set. Sometimes he'll even lose the set, but he seems to just take himself a while to get going. It's not uncommon.
Well, Roger's made the adjustment. He's trying to hit the ball higher over the net, trying to make Djokovic play, but Djokovic is still trying to play aggressive and is rattled out there, obviously.
One more service point on this end. The second serve. He's at 56%, Roger's at 58%, so they both need to improve their numbers as the match progresses. Another double.
4-3, Federer.
That's the fourth in the first set.
What happens so often is when you're playing against somebody that's as tight as Djokovic, you end up getting tight yourself because you know you just have to play, you put the ball in the court and play, and it takes you off your game. And maybe that's what we're seeing with Federer, because he's definitely played some tight shots as well.
And he's looking for that first serve to come back to him. Well, that backhand slice, he stuck with it, varied it a few times. Djokovic nets that one. 5-3.
Federer's made the perfect adjustment again, just making Djokovic play, not really going for a whole lot. You see the fist pump there.
And not giving him, you know, a ton of pace to get into a pounding contest. He comes up with a good first serve, and you hear the come on. 1 point from the set is Federer.
If you're playing Djokovic right now, the last thing you want to do is hit risky shots, because you know there's a very good chance that Djokovic is going to miss early, and he could miss anything.
Three set points on the second serve from Djokovic. 3 set points for Federer. Missed it. 1 set point saved.
6-4, Federer.
Djokovic's swings look so much more free when he's down in this tiebreaker rather than when he's been even or up.
Good observation. That's true.
Hitting the ball with a lot more sting than that last one.
One more service point to the Serbian player. The second serve. Still 2 set points for Federer. All the pressure on the youngster. And he doubles it. The first set goes to Roger Federer. Well, a dramatic finish and almost the inevitable. Those are the kinds of sets that he wins. Roger Federer, not his best tennis. 57% on his first serve and 15 errors, but he's got the set. Djokovic serving in set number 2.
I'm going to be interested to see if Djokovic can recover from having that set in hand. Can't get any closer than serving for it up 40 love. And there's going to be a big possibility of him carrying that set over for the first part of this second set. And if he gets down a break, I'm not sure Roger will oblige and give it back.
Fifteen all.
This is a time in the match where you'd expect Federer to just put the pressure on a little bit to see if Djokovic is still holding on to the first set.
Little slap to his thigh. Federer, he's just not happy with these errors that he's building up here. That is now number 17 for him.
This is a big game to be making errors too. Missing that second serve return and that forehand return we just saw. He has a chance to get Djokovic extremely disheartened. And we've just seen him just give Djokovic this game. And shaking his head.
Another weak reply there. 40-15 game point. Opening game of the second set.
Djokovic.
So Djokovic with an easy hold opens the second set on serve.
First game, second set.
Roger Federer serving. Love one here in the second up a set. And he got it.
15 love.
Well, if he makes that play again, forcing the issue and coming in, I think it's going to tell us that he almost feels he's just got to do this to try to get his game back together, to be a little more aggressive. He's not played well from the back. He's got 18 errors. I mean, he won the set. That's what these greats do. But you know, he wants to do this, win this thing, winning tennis, with good tennis, high quality tennis, and he's struggling.
He's definitely struggling. And the reason for his struggles, for the most part, is that forehand side. He relies so much on that shot, and if it's off, really tough for him to take control of these points. He's got to rely on 1-2 punches like that, getting Djokovic out of the court with a good serve and hitting to the other side.
An aggressive move by Djokovic, forcing the issue.
30 all.
30 all. Perfect.
40-30.
Federer continues to take that backhand up the line. Not wanting to let Djokovic get set over in that backhand side.
And finally, a big service
Federer,
from him on game point to get even at 1.
1 game all, second set.
He's changing rackets. And he didn't lay that racket gently.
He wasn't happy with that one.
No.
I wouldn't be either if I was Roger Federer.
I don't know that he's blaming it on the racket. I think he's blaming it on himself. He may be in his normal rotation here of racket changes. It's 15 games. I think he does it every 8, so he might be dumping that one early. Good forehand drive.
15 love.
And that's the pattern that I thought we'd see a lot more of. Djokovic being able to get Roger to cough up some short balls off that backhand exchange and taking advantage with some big forehands.
And Roger is in his normal racket rotation, a game before the new balls will come out. But he, when he dropped the other one, my point was just that he's clearly angry at himself, and he kind of slammed it down. Good stuff from Djokovic.
Very good aggressive stuff. He's not hesitating now. And again, we get a look at that Djokovic, a lot more racket head acceleration, good extended finish. Looking like a very confident shot. But again, those shots are a lot easier to hit early in the set than late in the set.
Nothing wrong with Roger's forehand on that one. A good serve and a perfect return.
There's nothing Djokovic can do here. Again, players normally fall to their left, assuming that their serve's going to be good. So they get a look at a runaround forehand, but Roger just catching him off guard deep in that forehand corner.
Now Mom Diana looking a little nervous, understandably. Tough on the family members, these big moments on the big stages.
Djokovic's serve has gotten a little flat.
Missed that by about 3 feet.
Yeah. Djokovic
forcing play.
Yeah, when Djokovic is serving the ball well, he's really hitting up on the ball, getting good clearance over the net and into the court. But now it just looks like he's either barely missing it in the net or missing it long. It looks kind of like a Roger Clemens fastball at the moment.
40-15. That's long, and Djokovic holds. We're on serve at 2-1. In the second set, Roger Federer won the first in a tiebreak. The standard is lower than we expect it's going to stay between the #1 and the #3 in the world. Federer with the tie break. Djokovic struggling in those last 2 games, and if somebody was going to break down, it was going to be the youngster who hasn't been on this huge stage before. Federer came away with a tie break victory. Well played point, Djokovic.
That's pretty funny. We saw Djokovic have a huge opportunity to follow that chip into the net, but he has so much respect for the Federer forehand that he actually backed up and had to hit another good shot.
We're on serve in the second set. And excellent serve set up that easy play. Roger was clearly looking to get himself into the court. 2 breaks of serve in the first set at 6-5. Djokovic went up, and then he double faulted to break into the tiebreak. Federer won the tiebreak. Backhand miss. Errors continue to come from the rackets of both players. 20 for Federer, 19 for Djokovic.
And there's really no excuse for that error. It was a solid return by Djokovic, but definitely nothing special. Then we get a look at the last 3 years of this tournament. Another unforced error again.
15-40.
Djokovic not having to do too much, bringing up 2 break points.
Serve was well long. Djokovic has won 1 of 2 breakpoint opportunities. Rogers 1 for 1 in that category. That was the double fault, of course, right at the end of the first set.
I don't mind that Djokovic misses on these break points, but just the fashion he's missing, and he's looking so careful on some of his favorite shots.
Well, Roger hesitated there. Didn't give himself a good chance to make the shot when he arrived at the ball. I mean, these are unusual things to see. And the break to Djokovic, 3-1.
That was good defense by Djokovic, though, getting the ball at Federer's feet. Seems like he's playing much better tennis when he doesn't have to worry about hitting an easy shot. When he's behind in the point, just scrambling to stay in, seems he's coming up with his best stuff.
15 love.
They have that whole box full of the guys where the family members and friends wearing the same shirt that he's got. Looks like the
Except for
Serbian
Maria.
national
Why
team.
isn't Maria wearing that shirt?
Well, there'd be a lot of reasons why, and you know them all. 15 love. Well, that's not good enough lob. Twice Rogers thrown up an offensive lob, and each time Djokovic has handled easily.
30 love.
It's tough to pull off a lob from where Federer was in the court. He's like 8 feet behind the baseline unless it's perfect. Gives your opponent a lot of time to see what's coming.
40 love.
Ace number 4 for Djokovic. Another big service winner. Well done. So he's got a little life here now, that evidencing itself. The energy flowing, the stride looking a little more confident. Roger Federer struggling here in the second set. He's down 4-1 a break. But he has the first set in hand. Definitely not in his top form. Some of that has to do with the opponent, but I would still have to fairly say that most of it has been Roger's own undoing of his own game.
There's no doubt about it. This is the Roger Federer we saw yesterday. Just making a lot of unusual errors by his standards.
Generally, in these circumstances, he will try to come in more, and I think again, got to make this guy make some passing shots, and see if he's got his error game any more free than it has been, because he's committed 20. Djokovic. Might see Roger test him a little more.
Federer's definitely got to do something.
Your favorite play, Taylor.
It worked. It worked. Federer was a little bit behind the baseline, but Djokovic executed that to perfection.
And a gorgeous topspin lob.
Federer doesn't even look back.
15-30. There's a lot of support for Djokovic, and you come to New York, and there's not an American playing out there. They're going to go for the underdog. As much as respect they have for Federer, doesn't mean they're not fans of his. It's just that's what they like to do. And they also want a 5-setter, so they're going to cheer the guy behind, even if he's not the underdog. 30 all. Wide.
40-30.
A little better shot making in that rally from Federer.
That's definitely been Djokovic's play, is to attack that Federer forehand whenever possible, to set up a short ball to then get in on the Federer backhand. You just get the feeling like he doesn't even need to press the issue. Federer's struggling so much at the moment.
Forehand missed to deuce.
Feels like Federer can miss any ball he touches.
A little anxious there. Djokovic seeing that short ball. Game point to get back to 4-2. He's down a break here in the second. A little extra on that ace. His fourth. Second of the set. Pardon me, the fourth of the match, and yes, second of the set.
Look at the overcast skies or cloudy skies today.
It's the first kind of cloudy weather we've seen here throughout the tournament. Just started to come in a little bit yesterday and then wound up not being a factor at all. This is not a threatening sky.
You know, Federer's probably thinking out there, there's a very good chance that Djokovic is going to get tight in one of these next couple of service games, being up a break again. He's shown that he's hasn't handled the situation well, being up in this match. So he's going to make the adjustment to probably force Djokovic to play as much as possible.
Same play. That time Roger got back to it, and it's not long.
I think we're going to see a challenge on that baseline. It was really close. It was really close, and Federer thinks it's in. He's walking over to the ad side.
Right he is.
Replay the points. Love 15.
That's great stuff from Federer. Again, bringing it in a little bit, not going for quite as much, and you see him this whole point trying to get a forehand, but can't do it. And eventually takes advantage of that big forehand that Djokovic hits. Uses the pace and just redirects it up the line.
Little opportunity here. Love 30. Looking for a break to get back on serve in the second set. Roger certainly knows he's playing with the house money, having won that first set right at the end. Not try to do anything rash here in the second set. He's got 3 break points.
I'm actually a little surprised Djokovic hasn't taken those returns and tried to come in behind him. Just begging to be approach shots.
Serving at 49% for the match, 41% in the second set. That's long. A little come on from Roger, and he's annoyed at the way he's playing, and you don't often see him have to resort to the verbal come on to get himself going, but he needs him today. And 15 love. You're looking back at these previous 5 matches when Djokovic was 19 a year ago at Monte Carlo. That was a 3-setter. It went 3 sets, and Federer won at 6-3 in the third. He won the first set there. And then the next one was a Davis Cup, meaning 3 of 5 sets, as this final is. Federer really kind of romped through that, 3-2 and 3. But this year at the Australian Open, also a best of 5 in the round of 16, Federer won the first 6-2 and then 7-5, 6-3. Quarterfinal, he had to go 3 in a best of 3 match, and then the same at Montreal, which was the one that probably is, the one that Djokovic won, is the one that everybody's more likely to analyze and look at more closely by comparison, because it was 7-6 Djokovic in the first set, Roger 6-2 in the second, and then Djokovic wins a tiebreak again in the third. A lot more like this match. Federer with an easy hold at love, evens it at 4-all.
That was a really strong game from Federer, not making any mistakes and capitalizing on any opportunities to come in. That's the game we are accustomed to seeing Roger play. Not these unforced errors littered all over his game.
Well, we also haven't seen a winning pass from Djokovic that I recall when Roger has come to the net, made any kind of a move to the net. He's lobbed a couple over him by setting it up with that your favorite shot, the drop shot from the baseline.
I just think that these players are struggling so much right now with their heads that it's been really tough for them to implement any type of strategies that they've gone out there with.
That's exactly what's happened. Djokovic 30 love. I would just think that Roger would be testing that, see how rattled is the youngster and how much off his game by coming in a few more times and find out.
He's been trying. He's been trying to work his way in with that forehand, but again,
he's spoiling it for himself.
Yeah, exactly. Him himself is making a lot of mistakes.
40 love.
Point from 5-4. Novak Djokovic. That's a good serve. Service winner. 5-4 for the young Serbian player.
5-4, second set, first set Federer.
Some sports stars, American television stars They're all here at the U.S. Open for this one. Now it's aggressive play by Federer. Nice get, but easy put away.
Great 1-2 punch again. That's when Federer's playing his best.
15 love.
Gets that first serve in, and then takes advantage of the forehand, which we just saw.
Whoop.
30 love.
It
Nice
looks to
forehand.
me like Federer's starting to get a hold of his forehand a little bit better now. His last 3 games have looked a little bit more convincing on Federer's part. Reason for Djokovic to be a little concerned.
40 love.
That is ace number 5 for Federer. And now his winners creeping up to match his unforced errors. It's so unusual to be seeing the stat go that way for Federer, but he's got 21 winners and 22 unforced, and the balance was strictly in favor of the errors until very recently in this match. Oh, weak reply there. Looked like he wasn't sure where he wanted to go. And we're even at 5.
5 games all, second set.
We've been here before. A set ago. 5 all.
I just think Djokovic tried to get too cute with that ball. He tried to hit that off-angle forehand that we see Federer hit sometimes. But again, it's 40 love, Federer's serve, so that's the time to go for something unusual.
We've had a break each here. Djokovic went to 3-1. Roger broke back to a 4 all. Or 3-4, I should say.
That's a nice aggressive play by Djokovic.
15 love.
Nice 1-2 punch again. Not the serve taking him out of court, but taking advantage of the fact that Federer's probably going to be a little bit further to the outside.
Excellent serve. 30 love. Well, this is good serving when he absolutely needs it, because this is where Roger usually does his thing near the end of a set here. He would be wanting this break and then to serve it out. Djokovic has really stepped up here well under that pressure, and he's got 40 love second serve.
And these last 2 service games have been impressive from Djokovic. It's not easy to keep getting the edge in the match against Federer and keep losing it.
Good body serve,
Djokovic
and
leads
he
6
is up
games
6
5,
games
second
to
set,
5.
first set Federer.
Opening point here at 5-6. 15 love for Roger Federer, trying to force the tiebreak in this second set. Terrific drop, but the next one long.
15 all.
Looked a little bit impatient there on that shot, and respecting the speed of Djokovic to get back over to that side.
It looks like he's swinging a little bit more freely at it, going more aggressively at the ball, so it's a good sign for Federer.
Just missed it. You gotta like the play. Couldn't quite drop it inside the baseline with the volley.
You see him approaching
15-30.
from the baseline, and again, that's the only trouble, is if your opponent can get there and put some mustard on it, he's
And he
going to
did.
get it at your feet and have a good look at a pass, and that's why Roger missed that ball. He was scared of the Djokovic pass coming up. And a good point from Novak, bringing up 15-30.
No, got flat-footed and sailed the forehand.
Did you hear the spectator call out foot fault when he tossed the ball up?
I did not hear that.
Maybe my ears are playing tricks on me. Anyway,
15-40.
you heard it from Jake Garner, 15-40.
2 set points for Djokovic to even the match. And a second, the ace. 126 down the tee. All the pressure on the number 1 here. Another big serve down the tee. Good return. That's long. Djokovic let it all rip, and he's gonna challenge.
That's what he does. I think he's a little dreaming here on this challenge, but that's what he does. He errs on the side of going for too much on every big point. Oh my goodness.
Not by much, just enough.
And that could hurt Djokovic right here.
Mr. Djokovic has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, at least he can smile about it.
See if he can mentally recover from being just a millimeter from the set.
Another big serving by Federer in this game. Always in these critical games. It's just amazing.
Advantage Federer.
Digging himself out of the hole. Another good serve, and we are in the tie-break, set 2.
Does that remind you of anybody? Down 15-40 and first serves the whole way through?
I think we've seen it before.
Seen it before. Pete Sampras just renowned for coming up with first serves. Big points, and Federer able to do the same.
Second tie-break set. Djokovic will serve the first point. And he does a good job on that to 1-0. First to 7, he must win by 2. 2 service points come to Federer now, and they'll alternate the rest of the way. Change ends after playing 6 points. Another huge serve. 121 and moving away at the line. 1-all. Just incredible serving action.
Djokovic has got to start covering that serve on the tee. Federer's been going there pretty much exclusively on the big points. That's where most of his aces have come. Djokovic has just got to make the adjustment. Take a step over, force Federer to go out wide, and you know he can. Just stop letting him beat you on that tee serve.
Well out. Djokovic got the line on his shot.
It's great concentration by Djokovic. The crowd laughing at something.
Look that right to the corner, got paint on both the side and the back line. That's long. 3-2 Federer.
It just looks like out there Djokovic is tired of playing tentative tennis. So any time he feels the pressure, seems like he's just going to go for a little bit more than go for a little bit less.
You recommend that?
Well,
under these circumstances?
It's a 50-50 thing. If he's gonna play tentative tennis and miss, then yeah, you may as well go for it.
50,
keep the
50.
points short. I'm always on the side of making your opponent play as much as possible. Get a good look. Extension up. And the ball over the net and down, short in the court. And again, Federer not with the most overpowering serve, but like a surgeon out there, able to put it on a dime.
Well, he's his last 2 serves here, the last game and in the tiebreak. I mean, it's absolutely flawless. And he struggled early in the in the match on first serve. And he goes to that center line again. And it works again. You can see the frustration of Djokovic. He should be listening to you, Taylor.
I don't know what the arms up in the air were for, but he's got to understand that he's going there pretty much every time right now.
Well, he'll go there until he moves over a little bit.
He has no reason to change. He's winning every point that he serves down the tee on the deuce side.
Please.
Djokovic waiting for the crowd to quiet. 2 points to 5. By the way, I've noticed he hasn't bounced the ball nearly as much today.
I agree.
So far. Must have been that newspaper article I got to him. Short reply, and Federer now, he's just on top of everything.
Now look at this backhand from Djokovic. Just so tentative, right in the middle of the court. And again, if you're going to give Federer those balls, you may as well just have a rip.
Set points all over the place for Federer, and he bangs it down the line. A big fist pump. He's up 2 sets to love, a set away from his 4th consecutive U.S. Open championship. A pair of tie breaks. So that nice combination of Dinara Safina, Natalie Deschy winning the women's championship against the Chinese pair earlier today, and congratulations to them. Roger Federer has a 2-set lead now on the 20-year-old. Opening with the serve here in set 3, and Ron puts him immediately on the first point.
Now, if you could be a little bug whispering in Novak's ear on the changeover, you'd just be telling him, look, the game's there. Both of these sets, you've had clear advantage. You've had them in your hands. Just got to get your head under control. Get focused out there and take a little bit extra time if you need it. But this match is still well within your reach. You know, you're playing with him. You're playing with the best player in the world. Just tough it out. This is the U.S. Open final. It's worth your effort and worth your focus and worth your grit to not get down on yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to say, hey, these were tie-break sets. I'm right there at the end each time. It's not like I'm getting whipped here, love and 1. Federer quickly to 40 love here in the opening game of the 3rd. Djokovic, the 3rd youngest U.S. Open finalist. Pete Sampras being the youngest, and then Bjorn Borg. Sampras was 19 years old in 1990, went on to win in that final. So an easy hole for Federer, and a 1-love lead in the 3rd. Opportunities lost for the 20-year-old from Serbia. 5 set points in the first set. He'll probably be lying awake in his hotel room tonight replaying all of those points, but right now he's just, as you say, tell himself he's still in this match, having been so close in 2 sets. No reason why he can't continue to compete all even here with Federer and hope for some luck of his own. 15 love.
Well, not only has he been close in these first 2 sets, he's had Roger down, and he's had him under his foot. He just hasn't been able to squash him.
15-0. Roger Federer, you know, doesn't care so much about the money. He's got so much already, but because of the extra bonus money from the U.S. Open Series, if he wins here, he takes home $2.4 million. Nice forehand there from Djokovic to 30-15. 2.4 mil, and I'm seeing a full-page ad in the New York Times this morning. He's a NetJet subscriber. You know, he has his own jet or a piece thereof. So I guess he'd be like to have this money to pay for the extra charges using the airplane.
Yeah.
Those things are expensive to run.
They are. They are not cheap. They are not cheap. Well, we've seen Novak come out playing good aggressive tennis. Thought there was a chance that he might be still thinking about those 2 sets he let slip away. But he's a good competitor. He's a gamer out there. We've seen that in the past.
Good body serve. Roger thinking maybe, and he's going to challenge. He's looking for a spot. Now, we've talked about this before. If it's really close, the ball gets squashed, compressed, and sometimes a player looks at a spot, thinks it's out, but only Hawkeye can give you the real truth. And here it comes on the review of this. And Roger knows exactly how much the ball gets compressed.
And in all fairness to the line umpires, I'm always, normally on the side of the players, but this is as much as I've seen them make mistakes throughout this whole tournament.
Well, the numbers support their calls. Then
Yeah.
they produce those numbers every day, the matches, to show what the percentage of challenges, being correct or not. And the lines people are ahead of the players' challengers.
And sometimes those stats are skewed because the players will just throw one up there because they have some to burn.
Well, ball boy lost the high ball on the lights there. He tried to take it on the fly. See, that good tennis player, tell him just let that ball bounce. You can still hit the overhead. Deuce. I'm going to rise out of the crowd. Good deep shot from Djokovic.
And that's what Djokovic has been trying to do. Is go to the Federer forehand and rush Roger to the backhand side. He's been doing it well too, just not in the latter stages of each set.
Game point, second serve to even things at 1-1 in the third. It's long, and the hold for Djokovic. 1-1 in the third set.
1 game all, third set.
It's a kind of endorsement deal that I've been looking for, Taylor. That NetJet's endorsement deal.
Well, I support that. Let's get one together.
Well, we could do that, but for some reason I don't think that the ad of me standing there by the plane compared to the one of Roger standing there by the plane.
Oh, now don't kid yourself. I've seen you in your pilot glasses. It'd be a very nice ad.
15 love.
In your bomber jacket.
Somehow I don't think the marketing impact would be quite the same. 15 love second serve. Djokovic, well, he draws another error from Federer, who's had a couple of sloppy plays here in the first couple of games of the third. It's long. Nothing wrong with the Federer forehand of the line there.
Sounded a little shanky. But, I mean, even apart from that, I'm just still surprised that Roger hasn't found his forehand more consistently. He still looks like he's searching for it at occasions.
His serve has definitely come back,
Yeah.
though. He's up to 65% for the match and 75% in the early going here. He was down around 50 in the first set. Slowly has been bringing it back, but all of the elements of his game are not in sync today. Just at the right times, as he blasted serves to win that first set in the tiebreak. 2-1 on serve.
As you see right there, the career 5-set matches for Roger Federer when he's up 2 sets to love. He doesn't give it up very often.
The two that he lost from 2 sets up, where they weren't in Grand Slams. They couldn't have been.
I think Nalbandian here, if I'm not mistaken, the year he lost to Nalbandian in 2003.
Oh yeah, okay, right. Yeah.
And
The
there was one to Hewitt.
Okay, we're.
30
Okay, so there were our good folks in the truck here telling us that Nalbandian was in the season-ending championship.
That's right.
Yeah, and the other one was Davis Cup, because I didn't think that they occurred in Grand Slams. Djokovic, meanwhile, up to 30 love.
40 love.
And 40 love here on his serve. Try and even things at 2. A little extra tempo on that forehand from Djokovic paid off. Easy hold. 2-all, third set.
All, third set.
Federer just still isn't convincing out there. He's showing flashes of brilliance, but also showing some real vulnerability. Again, last 2 out of 3 forehands that he's hit, 2 of them have been real shanks, setting up that winner. Cross court on the backhand of Djokovic, so Djokovic has got to capitalize on it soon. He's running out of time.
Double fault number 3 for Roger Federer. Djokovic has had 5.
And we saw in the last set that Roger was able to come up with some first serves. We'll see if he goes for that first serve down the tee that he normally does on a big point.
Love 30 a little look for sure, and he did. Didn't quite get it as much to the corner as he would have liked. Long. Djokovic picked up the pace and the tempo, and he won the rally. 3 break points.
Love 40.
And Djokovic is really close to turning this match around extremely quickly.
Federer box. He saw his father Robert. It's long. Well, he went for it. I like that.
15-40.
That's mom Federer, Lynette.
My goodness. Djokovic is probably going to have to challenge to save face on that, but even if it is out, you got to play that ball. Such a big stage.
What face can he save here if it turns out to be about 2 inches in?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if it's in, it's on the back of the line, but even if the ball's out, you just got to play it. That just shows me that he's already starting to feel the nerves again.
Well, it wasn't way in, but
30-40.
in enough, huh?
1 challenge remaining.
Still a break point. Ooh, not a good effort on that return. Second serve.
And it's kind of what we talked about in the beginning of the match. You know, these players are so evenly matched, and that's what we've seen. But up until now, things might change, but Djokovic has not won any of the big points.
That's correct. Federer gets the deuce,
and that is part of Federer's experience, able to turn it up, and part of Djokovic's inexperience.
well, he opted to throw the second serve kicker down the center. He was a little offline, but looked like Djokovic was expecting it.
Again, when Djokovic is in these types of slumps, Federer doesn't need to be perfect, because Djokovic is willing to cough up an error extremely quickly.
And then he comes down the center line, and Djokovic wants to take a look at that. He's only got one challenge left, and he's going to challenge.
Mr. Djokovic is challenging the call on the left center service line. The ball was called in.
So we'll see whether or not he's gone to his chair. So he doesn't believe in that one too much.
Oh, look at that.
Again, Federer.
Close as you could possibly
Federer
have.
leads 3-2 third sets, and by 2 sets to love. Mr. Djokovic has no challenges remaining.
Sometimes, you know, you'd be writing off a guy at this stage. 2 sets down, and it's Roger Federer, but he does have legitimate reason to say, I can turn this back the other way. But he's absolutely got to make the changes himself.
Just looking at Djokovic's face on the changeover and when he was sitting down on the changeover, I think he's kind of believing that nothing's going his way out there, when I guess you could look at it that way, but he's the root of the problems. He's not being mentally tough on the big stages, and he's his own worst enemy out there. He's beating himself more than Federer's beating him.
Well, you know, he has a great touch. He can make that shot, but these are kind of desperation plays here now, and they're low percentage plays all the time. It's nice to mix it up in the course of a match or the set or the game, and he's capable of doing it, but his judgment so far hasn't been too terribly good.
That's such a more solid shot, that backhand approach up the line. Let's get a look at the New York skyline. Clouds rolling in.
That's a pretty shot. The
We
Empire
saw-
State Building, or the Chrysler Building.
We saw a replay of that drop shot that Djokovic attempted, and almost looked like Federer could have volleyed the thing.
Thirty all at 2-3. Got to keep holding serve here and find a way to break Roger, who has shown he's vulnerable. That's well played. Soft hands on that volley.
And unfortunately for Djokovic, it seems like his best tennis always comes when he's behind in a game or having to play really tough shots. Only works for so long against Federer.
Loose forehand takes him to deuce. 34 errors to 30 by Federer. Federer, well, I was going to say won't like the numbers when he reads them after the match. A, he may not read them. Secondly, he won't really care.
Well, he knows what's going on there regardless of the numbers. He knows this isn't going to be the cleanest match he's ever played. And there's a lot of things factoring into that.
Good reaction by Djokovic, but then he was helpless. Couldn't do anything with the ball.
Advantage, Federer.
Mirka looking at her watch there. I think she might have been.
Look at Djokovic again. That's the first sign of just being tight and tentative out there. Your feet stop working. Normally you'd see some quick steps, adjustment steps, and knock off an easy volley. Poor footwork, bringing up a break point.
That's well done. Saves a breaker. First break point Federer's had in this set.
Deuce.
Again, true to form, playing his best tennis down in the game and having to hit these tough shots.
Got it.
Well, he's hit
Djokovic.
3 aggressive approaches, staying down, hitting through the ball. And they've all been very effective, and he's hit those 2 drop shot approaches, which haven't been quite effective. So I'd say if we see the drop shot, you can bet that it's because of nerves out there.
No. Federer saw that whole court there and misses the backhand, so the hole by Djokovic. 3-all.
3 games all, third set. The team loves.
Roger Federer 15-love in this game at 3-all. Third set, up 2 sets. And the pass, perfect. 30-love.
Great play by Djokovic. Unfortunately, didn't get this pass anywhere near the sideline. Right down the center of the court. Federer just had to take a step and direct it right down the line.
Oh, superb.
That's probably one of the best points we've seen all match.
Yeah.
The cleanest points all match. Federer taking advantage of that short ball.
40 love.
And that's one of the problems of ripping the passing shots, is it doesn't give you a chance to get back in the point if your opponent gets its racket on it.
Federer.
And an ace from Federer. That's number 11.
Federer leads 4 games to 3, third
And we're
set.
on serve at 4-3 Federer. For himself, he'll continue to repeat that he's not going to accept that mantle until he wins the French, but others may give him the mantle even if he never does. He's got lots of time to accomplish that victory at Roland Garros.
The team loves.
Novak Djokovic would like to stop the express train right now and keep reminding himself that he's been in 2 tie breaks here, and he's got Roger on not his perfect night.
That's a great play from Djokovic. Again, I think Agassi holds the patent on that, hitting the serve out wide on the ad side and following it up with a backhand up the line.
30-love. Misses that one to 30-15, but Federer hasn't been able to break him in this set. He's got to cling to that, try and find a way to break Federer. He's done it in the match. Two breaks, but only 2 of 9 with the attempts he's had. And that's long.
See Djokovic miss those 2 approaches up the line. Backhand side again. Just going for a lot because you have to. Approach into Federer's forehand, you know that you're going to have to play a really tough volley. So sometimes you just try and make it too good. Wow, look at Mirka holding her head Roger did such a good job to get a backhand return back in this point, capitalizing on that massive forehand. And you see the pained expression. That would have been essentially a match point, maybe.
Double falls to deuce.
Well, I haven't seen, as we look at the, there's a lot of twins in that box. I haven't seen Djokovic serve this poorly on his second serve. I don't think ever.
Backhand miss again by Federer. Helping to keep Djokovic's hopes alive here by coughing up some errors. Another game point to even it at 4. And that does it there. At forehand, we're all even at 4. No breaks in this third set.
Well, Djokovic was lucky to squirm out of that game.
Only got help from the other guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Federer deuce, second serve, hits that slice return that's high and at the service line to the Djokovic backhand, pretty much handing him the point.
And the miss on the easy volley.
Yeah.
Certainly not peerless stuff from the peerless wonder himself. That's wide. 15 love.
15 love.
Federer at 55% in this set on first serve percentage. So this is not, just not his best stuff. Federer kind of turns it into, it's like an NBA basketball game. They say it's, it's a 2-minute game. Like with Federer, it's like the last 2 games of the set. That's the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
Get to the end of the set, and now it matters. And in each of the first 2 sets, he's picked it all up and come away with the wins in the tiebreak. Now we're at 4-all, and he's at 40 love.
And again, in those 2 first sets, he also had some help.
Oh yeah, no
to come
question.
away with those tiebreakers. So he's just able to either hold on to his play and elevate it just a little bit, and count on Djokovic just dropping. That's kind of what's happened.
And he doubles. It's the 4th for him. 2nd in the set.
40-15 is 40 love is an acceptable double. Djokovic's double faults have been at some very inopportune times.
Good second serve, and he finds the sideline deep. The hold has him at 5-4 in the third, up 2 sets. If he never won another one, look at the company he'd be in. And it certainly looks like he's odds on to catch Pete Sampras.
He's definitely got time on his side when it comes to chasing that record down.
Trying to make it number 12 this evening, and 4 in a row here in New York. Up 2 sets to love. Down 5-4 in the third. Djokovic trying to get even here and force the issue against the number 1 seed.
Federer has been looking less than spectacular for the most part on that backhand return on second serves. It's just the ones he's even made have had no pace on them, floating a little bit.
beautiful. Difficult shot for the winner. Beautifully executed dropper. Mirka loves that.
Mirka gave him the thumbs up. Must have been a shot that he's been working on, is that backhand overhead. And again, good rally. Djokovic just takes a huge risk with that drop shot, and it doesn't pay off. Once again, great flick by Federer, though.
He had to run a long way to get it, and there's a beautiful shot. Every player will tell you that's the toughest one to hit. 15 all.
And that chip backhand return, not really helping Federer out. He's been giving Djokovic a lot of freebies off that side.
Nice return there from Federer. Perfectly timed, blocking it down the line.
That was a great play by Djokovic. Again, sensing Federer's chipping most of these, you might think, oh, I'm going to get an easy volley. Then all of a sudden, Federer comes over one, making that extremely tough.
Ace. Number 5. Game point to get even at 5 all. All 3 of these sets have been nail biters. Nobody's been able to get out and run with them. 2 tie breaks. Could be headed there again. On the line. And that's wide. Perfect shot from Federer.
That was an amazing shot by Roger. Novak trying to get a little cute over there. But Roger says, I can be cuter. Getting a lot of racket head speed. Mirka's looking a little bit more relaxed now than she was earlier.
Well, suddenly we're seeing some Federer-like shots too. You know, she loved that backhand overhead and that perfect little kind of touch angle he just pulled off there to the line. I mean, these are the things that we get used to seeing and just take for granted from this guy. Chair umpire nearly took one in the ear there. Break point for Federer. You know what this means? Championship point against the serve of Djokovic. Good.
Wow, what a gutsy point, mentally tough point from Djokovic. Again, Federer just teasing him with that short forehand. And he stayed tough.
That's big stuff there from the youngster. Gets himself.
See if he goes for another second. Normally likes to.
No. A little eager there. Federer staying with that same backhand move at the ball on second serve. Another championship point. All on the shoulders of the 20-year-old. Roger Federer, 4 times in a row here at the US Open. He is the champion. Novak Djokovic gave him a good run, but it's still a 3-set victory for Roger Federer. Even on an off night, he's still the greatest. The crowd on their feet to acknowledge the accomplishments of this man. His 12th Grand Slam. Just 2 now behind Pete Sampras' record 14. 4 times in a row. The last time it was accomplished way before the Open era, back before the professionals took over the tennis world, and it was the great Bill Tilden back in 1923 who won 4 in a row. Ivan Lendl came close, but it was Roger Federer who has pulled it off. 4 consecutive U.S. Open championships.
The U.S. Open Champions Trophy to the 2007 United States U.S. star, Roger Federer. There he is, 4 times the champion of the United States Open.